Welcome to episode 25 of Two Pastors in a Plant. I'm Drew Narmore.
I'm JD Shaw.
And what we do here every week, if you're sort of new to the show, is we take some interesting questions about the Bible or the culture, and we just discuss some truth in a short amount of time. And because this is the 25th episode, which is sort of, I guess, a milestone, we've been doing this since April. I wanted to take a little bit of time and talk about the direction of the show. You might have been following along, from all the way back then. We talked about why we were doing this. And one of the reasons was back in March and April, we weren't able to meet at all together. And so we were really missing certainly Sunday mornings. But that was right in the middle of, I think, getting our Wednesday night started back. And so we started releasing these on Wednesday nights because we couldn't be together, and that wasn't necessarily a supplement for gathering, but it was the same idea as Sunday morning. Like, we were missing out on that time, but at least we could have an opportunity to open the Bible together and talk about, some important issues. And so we've really enjoyed doing that, but because Wednesday nights have started back, we feel like it's probably going to be a better use of our time and sort of resources to release these episodes on Wednesdays where we don't have Wednesday nights. So that's about 30 Wednesdays a year, roughly 15 a semester, where we have Wednesday night meetings. So those other Wednesday nights during the summer and the winter is when you can expect these episodes to come out. Just any Wednesday night we don't have a Wednesday night meeting, that's what we're going to do in the future.
They'll drop.
We'll drop them.
As the kids say.
So actually the next... this one's going to be releasing on September 23rd. Today's the 22nd, right? Mm-hmm. So September 23rd, but then the next one will be at the end of November when we start back up while we don't have any Wednesday nights going on. So just a quick update on why we're going to be pausing this. We're not going to be ending this, but we're going to be pausing this until... so we can devote our energy to those Wednesday nights, which we have missed very dearly and are excited about starting those back. Do you have anything else to add along those lines?
No.
Well, that whole explanation, having said all of that, is a really nice transition into the topic that I wanted to talk about this evening. And the question is, why do we have midweek gatherings in the first place? There's no commandment, certainly, in the New Testament to have a middle of the week Wednesday afternoon gathering. Is this simply a matter of wisdom? Do you think you can go so far as to say it's mandatory for the church to have something like this? Where would you place this on the scale of simply a matter of wisdom and a biblical mandate?
Well, definitely on the wisdom end of the spectrum. I actually asked my church history professor in seminary about, the church I grew up in had Sunday morning, Sunday night, and Wednesday night services.
Very typical.
So I asked him the origin of that, and he said, and as best I can tell, everybody says we don't know precisely how those meetings came to be. I was reading a book just the other day, written by a guy who grew up in Mississippi in the 1920s, and he said in the 1920s, where he lived in Choctaw County, Mississippi, they had their main Sunday service in the afternoon.
Was this Chris Teague?
No. It was Chris Teague. So Sunday morning, 11 o'clock, 10:30, whatever time, that hasn't even always been an agreed upon time for Christians to meet. Christians have always met on Sunday in the last in areas where Christians are a majority in the culture.
Yeah.
We've always met on the Lord's Day. But that wasn't the case the first 3 centuries of the church, right, because Sunday was not a day off for the Romans, so I think they met on Saturday. Or maybe it was Friday, I can't remember. Uh-huh. And today in the Muslim world, churches are going to meet on Friday. I think that's the Islamic day of rest.
Okay.
So even Sunday's a matter of wisdom to a certain degree.
Gotcha.
As my professor said, that he heard that Sunday morning services became the norm once people had automobiles and could get to church pretty quickly. And maybe that's why they met in the afternoon, so that people could do some whatever they needed to do around the house and hitch up their horse and wagon and get to the church building, in time for 12:30, 1 o'clock for the services to begin, which makes sense to me. So the automobile made the morning service possible, and then he surmised that with the popularity of the Billy Graham Crusades, that in the 50s a lot of churches started having Sunday night services as an evangelistic service.
So they would have maybe the regular service, and then, hey, come to this thing tonight
on Sunday nights.
And bring your neighbors.
And it kind of evolved into, as those things do, you start a program and it kind of ossifies and turns into a programmatic thing. So yes, definitely a matter of wisdom. To me, the wisdom of Wednesday nights is it's equidistant between the two Lord's days, and it's just a chance for the church to come together and do some things that it's really hard to do on Sunday mornings. And for us at our church, that means corporate prayer. So we pray a fair amount in our Sunday morning service, but it's just me praying. I'm not taking prayer requests from, we might have, depending on what time of year you're at our church, we might have from 200 to 400 people in the room. So we're not taking prayer requests from that many people, but on a Wednesday night, a smaller crowd, we can not only take prayer requests from people in the room, but we can ask people in the room to pray out loud. Yeah. And that way the whole church is praying in a way that's just not possible on Sunday morning. So for me, the wisdom of it is we're praying maybe not more, but probably more, but definitely differently.
Yeah.
The more of the body is involved. And then it's just a great way to get to meet people in the church.
Yeah,
that was not easy to do on Sunday mornings.
Going to be a little bit of my next question. It's not, so it's more so a thing of doing something that is beneficial for the whole life of the body that we can't do well on a Sunday morning. Maybe in a much smaller church you can do that a lot better. But so the wisdom behind Wednesday nights for us then would be because we can't do that, but not necessarily. I guess my question is then, everybody's got so much stuff going on, why would you say it's healthy for our church to practice that Wednesday thing outside of just adding another, we've also got grace groups, we've got youth ministries on Sunday nights, why just that one thing on Wednesday? Why not the Sunday night thing as well? I guess I'm saying expand a little bit more on that.
Well, here's the approach we've taken. So Sunday morning is the Mount of Transfiguration moment every week for the church, where the entire church is in the same room. And that's where I definitely put the lion's share of my effort when it comes to teaching the Bible. And I'm sure that's where Jared puts the lion's share of his effort in the music, in ministry of the church.
That's where I really work hard on announcements as well.
That's where Drew sweats blood over the announcements. Yeah. So we have that, and then small groups on Sunday nights. That's where you can really get to know people and develop a sense of trust with a small group, 8 to 10 people over years, where you can really be transparent and share some things about your life and get those things prayed for that you just wouldn't in any other context, because it wouldn't be appropriate. And Wednesday nights is kind of a good in-between. And the reason it's a good in-between is if you're new to the church, you can get to know more people on a Wednesday night than you can any other way. It's really intimidating, I think, for somebody to walk into a brand new small group. And especially if they've been meeting for years. I mean, you just feel like it's really hard to fit in there. And on Wednesday night, it's a smaller group than Sunday mornings. It's bigger than a community group, but it's much more accessible, and it's a way to get to know people, and it might be a good bridge to that small group ministry. So I say Wednesday night is a bridge between the large group and the ultimate small groups, and I see it as having a distinct purpose from either one of those meetings. As far as, people are so busy while Wednesday nights, my response to that is, what are you busy doing that's so vitally important? 4 times out of 5, it's something that once people start coming to Wednesday nights, they say, I could have been coming a long time ago. It really, what I was missing it for wasn't feeding my soul. and encouraging me and helping me develop healthy relationships, anything like what Wednesday night's doing.
And the way we've been doing it now, we usually have a meal. Do you want to talk about our Wednesday nights more, a little bit about, we get here at 5:30, we have some snacks and stuff. The building has been huge for us. But we would like to get back to a place where we have meals. We can't really do meals at the moment for a few reasons. But the idea in the future is to have that fellowship element along with the teaching of the Bible and then corporate prayer. So.
Yeah, and it's really fun to be able to eat with your friends on Wednesday nights, and lots of good conversations and encouragements and fellowship has taken place over meals on Wednesday nights. Can't do that right now because of the pandemic, but yeah, the basic pattern is we sing a couple of songs at 5:30. I get up and do a brief teaching on whatever series I'm working through on a Wednesday night, but the highlight I think is the prayer time, which is 15 minutes of where we're praying, right. and different people in the church are praying, and it's not just me or another elder.
Awesome. Well, that's all. I've got anything else to add on that?
No, I just, again, I tell people all the time, if you want to get to know people in our church, the single best thing you can do is come not on a Sunday morning, but on a Wednesday night, because that people just seem to linger and talk on a Wednesday night.
Right, definitely.
That they don't on a Sunday morning.
Absolutely.
And that's just healthy, and it's very encouraging to me when I see that happen.
Well, that wraps up the 25th episode. And we've been going every week since the beginning of April, I believe, and we are going to pause until the end of November. So we hope to see you on Wednesday nights, and we'll be back with this Two Pastor and a Plant show. Hopefully, the plant will be still going strong, maybe a little bit bigger. I don't know if this thing's going to get any bigger. But
as long as somebody else is taking care of it.
As long as somebody's taking care of it. And we'll be back at the end of November. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you then.